Hi, Velo Vlogger here again. Just replacing my horn, or the siren noise that the WAW Katanga makes. My old one stopped working, and Katanga was nice enough to send me a new horn free of charge. So they've discovered they said the issue with the old one is that the vibration of the ride caused the connections inside this horn to come loose, the solder connections, which caused it to stop working. So they recommended that I put two little eyelet screws here, and then a zip tie between them, and then wrap the wire around that. We'll get to that. That way it pulls on that point instead of the solder points to where they would break. So I just figured I'd shoot some film just in case anyone else needs to do this. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm not an expert at electronics by any means, but I'm learning more and more every day with my WAW, and it's awesome. I really enjoy learning this stuff. So I've got the nose of the WAW off. Right now I've got a little foam stuffed in there because it's been colder in the mornings to stop the air from flowing through the vent. I removed the old horn here. It's I don't know what kind of glue they use. I'm assuming it might be marine goop, which is probably what I'll use to seal it back down. So I took a little X-Acto knife blade kind of to slowly and carefully cut around it so that it would free itself from the base. As you can see, there's two little glue points here. You can see the difference here. There's that they filled with glue. That's where they recommend putting the screws in. So I'm going to put those in now. I found two tiny little eyelet screws in my junk screws. That's why it's always a good idea to keep all your extra parts, because you never know when they could come in handy for some other project. So I've got my zip ties in here with the two little eyelets, and I've got a zip tie here, as you can see there. And now I'm going to tie this off so when it pulls here instead of here when there's vibration in the ride. So I made two basically slack points there. So now when you got pull, it's going to pull here and here before it pulls on here. This part will connect to this part here. So I've got my soldering gun heating up there. I've got some wire that already has flux in it, and we are going to try to solder this on and see if it works. Alright, so I have it soldered. I've got my heat shrink on there, and just a tip from me to you, make sure you put your heat shrink on before you solder the joints. That way you can slide it up and put it in place and then heat it to shrink it. So here's the moment of truth. Got it on. Let's see if I did a good enough job. So I've got it plugged in, connected. Let's reach in here. Hey, success! I have a siren again. So now I'll just use a little marine goop and glue it in place and wait for it to dry, then drill some new holes for the screws to go through and button it all up and start riding again. As I've mentioned in previous posts before, the siren, it's not a horn, but I have grown to miss it. It is nice to have. I don't know if it really works, because I don't know if people can hear it through their car windows or whatnot, but it is something that it's just that extra feeling of security that hey, I have something besides me yelling, hey, over here! Or if I need to alert a deer, like in another one of my videos, walking across the road, so to scare them off. But anyway, it's nice that it's working again. Thank you, Katanga, for sending that to me, and I am happy that my skills has gotten good enough with soldering that I was able to make it work. Yippee me. Thanks for watching again. As always, thanks for the likes and the shares. Ride safe and ride free.